But there were a lot of times that I would think, you know, I am going to die.
Their capture made worldwide headlines.
2 American veterans missing in Ukraine, captured by the Russians.
Andy Huynh, a former Marine, and Alex Drueke, an Army veteran, taken into Russian custody while volunteering to fight for Ukraine. Tonight, inside their harrowing 105 days in captivity.
My mission was to keep Andy alive. Andy's mission was to keep me alive.
And the torture they say they experienced.
What was it like hearing your friend screaming in pain?
I mean, it's awful because I know he's in pain, but at least I knew he was alive. You know, it was good and bad at the same time.
So just those little moments, just to recognize each other's presence,
right?
Yep, it's like
gave you a little bit of strength.
Yes, little sparks of hopes.
After seeing images of innocent Ukrainians fleeing their homes, they say they felt called to serve, despite the risks and repeated warnings.
You're a Marine, but in this case, you were prepared to give your life for another country.
My life wasn't important, just prevent World War III.
Did it give you pause that the State Department, the president himself said, don't go?
Yeah, I definitely researched it. The U.S. government will not be backing me up on this. And I was aware of that. I was 100% aware of that. It scared me. I still know I had to go.
Andy and Alex were living in Alabama, but didn't know each other before meeting overseas in April. Their very first mission in the spring would be their last.
How quickly did it go wrong?
Real quick.
What should have been a simple recon mission wasn't a simple recon mission.
We did manage to evade the enemy, trying to make our way back home on foot for about 8 hours, working our way through thick woods.
We have to worry about drones, landmines, tripwires.
And then you were captured.
When we surrendered, they stripped us all our equipment. They put us on our knees, bound our hands, put bags on our heads, and we were pretty darn sure they were going to execute us.
When those moments occurred, who were you thinking about?
My first thought was actually my fiance. was my first thought. Then like a split second right after was like, oh, I'm gonna die.
They're taken behind enemy lines. This photo, posted online by a known Russian propagandist, shows the 2 men on that journey in the back of a military truck.
A couple times we physically got beat and said, welcome to Russia. So like that was kind of a tall sign that we were in Russia.
That first night, they made us stand up in one position for about 18 hours.
Sometimes they would just beat you to beat you.
Yes, they cracked 4 of my ribs for no reason.
At one point, you guys were moved to what was called a black site.
We call it the black site because it's a place that doesn't exist because things happen there that shouldn't happen. That's where the real interrogation and torture actually happened. These are all from that final ride, the Freedom Ride, if you will.
Some of their injuries still visible today. Bruises on their wrists from tight bindings. Andy's back covered in scars from relentless bed bugs. They say their captors even gave them electric shocks during interrogations.
It's not just physical torture. There was a lot of mental torture. I mean, we were sleep deprived. We were purposefully dehydrated. We were put in a lot of stress positions that, honestly, some of those are worse than the punches.
How did your physical condition start to deteriorate?
I think we lost about 30 pounds each.
They gave me my one bread, water that looked like it had fecal matter in it.
When they were interrogating you, what kind of information did they want?
A lot of it was verification. They swore up and down that we were CIA, secret, covert government operatives.
In June, the 2 men eventually appearing on Russian television, delivering pro-Russian propaganda messages they say were filmed under duress.
What were some of the things you were forced to say?
How great Russia is and how great Putin is.
Did they tell you what would happen to you if you didn't follow the script?
Rape, murder, kill you, cut off fingers.
ABC News reached out to the Russian embassy for comment. They did not respond. Back in the U.S., Alex's mother and Andy's fiancé making public pleas for their safe return.
I know that with everybody working on it, we're going to get them home.
Not knowing at the time that the Saudi government was quietly arranging a prisoner swap between Ukraine and Russia. Finally, Alex and Andy were told they'd be freed, but say those last hours of captivity were the most trying.
They took packing tape and tightly wrapped that around our eyes and then locked us together in the back of a military truck.
How unbearable was it?
We prayed for death. We just wanted to die. We just wanted it to end.
You prayed for death in this moment.
In my head, even though I was like, even if it is an exchange, I don't care. This just has to stop.
Their flight to freedom landing in Riyadh on September 21st before they headed back home to the U.S.
I didn't fully believe that I was getting released until a U.S. Embassy representative, he said, "This is real, brother. You are being changed. This is real. You are safe."
You have no regrets.
No regrets.
I know the circumstances are different, but do you feel any guilt that the two of you were able to come back to the United States, but people like Brittany Griner and Paul Whelan are still there in custody?
Yeah, there is a slight amount of guilt that I got set free and I know they're still there. Like, there are a lot of people still in Russian captivity, and no one should ever have to live in the kind of conditions that they're living in.
Would you go back?
Yes.
You would?
Yeah. I think I'd go back in a slightly different capacity. I would go back for rebuilding after the war.
For me, I know my fiance, my family, like her family, they all say no.
You've got obligations here at home now.
Yeah, I now have obligations at home that I need to focus on.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.